Hello all, this is session 3 on digital carving. We'll be going through the commands and process to sculpt or to carve out from a polysurface. Um, so as usual, we're just going to start with a fresh window, Rhino window. I have already created my cube, the 10 by 10 by 10, while working on inches. Um, So let's get started. We have already created step one, as I said. Remember to name your layers and to keep things organized and everything in the same place. Uh, we're gonna go ahead and right-click on our layer and duplicate layers and objects. Next thing, let's rename this layer. Step two. And let's create a sub-layer for our carving tool. Let's put a different color on that. Let's do a nice orange so that we can see it. And there's multiple ways, or you can basically use any object to uh, cut a polysurface with. In this case, I'm gonna use a cylinder, um, and I'm gonna make a cylinder that is the same radius as this box of 10 inches. So draw it from the top and all the way to the bottom. As you can see, oh, my cylinder, I did not make it in the right layer. I was still working on step 2. So that's why it's important to assign colors to your objects. I'm gonna go ahead and select that and uh, move to my carving tool, right click on it, and I'm just gonna change object layer. And now, as you can see, now I'm in the right place. I'm gonna go ahead and set that as my current layer and turn off step 1, and let's lock it just to make sure we don't mess with it by accident. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and move this to the center of my cube. Let's select that, and multiple ways you can do that. You can simply type in move, and maybe we're gonna select this quadrant and just move it right to the middle of our cube. We can also use the align command, which I find very useful. Align will be here, and depending on which window you're working with, it'll do a different thing. Let's do align vertically, vertical center. And as you can see, at least from the top view, it'll move my object left and right, and I'm gonna snap it to that middle point. So it's the same result, just different ways of getting to it. All right, we have that. We're gonna go ahead and do our Boolean split. In this case, I'm gonna select this layer, or actually, I'm gonna type in Boolean split. Boolean split, you can see it here. Select the surfaces or polysurfaces to split. That's gonna be my cube. Enter spacebar, and then select cutting surfaces or polysurfaces. That's gonna be my cylinder. Enter. All right. That seems like nothing has happened, but actually, we have made a Boolean split. Right? We have taken this off, and this will become more obvious as we continue with the exercise. We can go ahead and delete this. We don't longer need this, and let's go with step 3. Remember, duplicate layer and objects. Let's make sure I did that correctly. Duplicate layer and objects. Yes to all. Let's name this our step 3. Okay, make sure we're working in the right layer. I'm gonna turn off and lock my step 2. Alright, so let's find another way to cut our original cube with. Um, Remember, there's multiple ways of rotating this. I think the easiest way, if you just want to rotate it across its uh, central axis, you can just do it with the gumball. Let's do it from this direction. It's already set to 90, so I'll go ahead and type in enter, and there you go. That's exactly what I wanted to do. Let's run our Boolean Boolean split command. We're splitting this, we're cutting with this. There we go. And as you can see, if I turn off my carving tool, there I've made some cuts to my object. These and these is what has uh, come out. I can go ahead and delete that. Alright, step 3 is done. Let's go ahead and do a couple more cuts. Hmm. Sure, we turn this off. I can turn on our previous carving tool that we can use to do the next cut. All right, let's do it. Let's move it from the top. I think that might give us another um, interesting shape, and it does. Okay, so remember Boolean split. Select the object, select the cutting object. Then we can delete the excess and turn off our cutting layer. And here we have it. Okay, we're almost done. Let's go with our step 5. We're gonna duplicate those objects. Yes to everything. Let's name it step 5. And let's make sure we don't mess with those. Turn back on our cutting tool. And let's see how else we can cut this bad boy. So if we go from the top and select these rotating axes, let's see what it does. It doesn't do much. We have already done that. So let's do it. Let's cut it from this side. Let's see if this does anything. 90 degrees. Nope. That's basically where we started. So maybe we need to start moving the cutting tool a slightly lower angle. Let's select one of the axes. Instead of 90, let's go with 45. And as you can see, that does give us some cuts through our object. Let's go with that. Let's do Boolean split with this, and let's turn this off. So you can one way to do it is you can select your final object, hide it, type in hide, it'll go away, and then you're left off with this. You can delete that, and then by typing in show, it'll bring everything back, and there it is. Let's make another cut. Let's select our object and rotate it from the top 90 degrees so that it goes around, and look, that'll give us some cuts as well. Boolean split using this. Let's rotate it one more time, another 90 degrees. Looks like that would also give us some cuts. So let's go back and let's make a copy. So we have this, and then from the top, while pressing Alt, we're gonna move it 90 degrees, and let's do it one more time, another 90 degrees. All right. So let's go ahead and run our Boolean command. Boolean split. If you cannot see the object from here, you can select it from any of the other windows. So I selected my poly surface, and I'm cutting with everything else. So let's do right click on carving tool, select objects, enter. Alright, let's turn this off. Let's see what we're left with. So apparently there's multiple objects here. So I'm gonna go ahead and select my main object, hide it for a second, and this is everything that we've taken off. Type in show, and this is where we're left with. That's pretty interesting. It's a nice symmetrical object. I think we can call this step 5. That's it. We have gone through all the steps to go from a cube to a sphere using the Boolean split command, the align command, um, and the rotate command. Let's see what we have created. Step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5. And there we have it. Hope you guys find this helpful, and see you next time.